Okay, I'm doing a video comparing the G6, which is this one, to a Real Care 2 baby. As you can tell, they both have speaker boxes, but they're a little bit different. And they're both the same race. Well, on the Generation 6, you would need a diaper, which is, this one is a blue patch, and right now she has on the white patch for the Generation 6s, or the Real Care original ones. That's what their diapers look like. And they do have a little Velcro on and if you don't have a white diaper, all you would need to do is just flip it over and it would work just as the same. Now, on the Real Care 2 baby, you would need a yellow patch and a green patch, which has a certain kind of sensor into them, which you can't just flip it over and it will work just like the Generation 6 does. You literally have to change the diaper on the Real Care 2s, 2 pluses, and the 3s. They all have the same diapers for them 3 babies. They're all green and yellow patches. That's what the diapers look like for them. Now, the bottles look like this. They have a when the Generation 6 came out, they were called Baby Think It Overs. And that's what their baby's bottle symbol looks like. But since they went out of business, they are called Real Care babies now. But the bottles will still work on the newer ones. So that's what the bottles look like, and that's what they look like. And if you want to make your own bottles, which I have one made, and you would need a special kind of sensors that you have to buy on the internet, and they are called Earth Rare Neon magnet sensors, and a thing of silicone clear, which you gotta put the magnets in the tip of them, then you gotta put a little bit of silicone behind them to keep the sensors locked into the tip of the bottles. And if you want to make fake formula and stuff, you can. That's what I did for mine. I made a couple of bottles that had fake formula in it. And what I use for mine that's best so far for mine is fabric clear white fabric softener with a little bit of water mixed into it. And if you want a tan kind of formula color to it, you put a little bit of vanilla into it to get it some color. So you can make your own formula bottles with the sensors. And you also can make your own pacifiers, which I have one here made that has putty or sticky tack, whichever you prefer, and you put a little bit on the passy, then you put the sensor, the same kind of sensors that it will take for the bottles. You put it on the tack, then you cover the sensor with more putty onto it, and you kind of form it into shape, and you stick it on the baby. Well, it also works for either one, but I haven't tried it on the WorldCare 2 baby yet, because when it gets done feeding, within 2 minutes, and if it don't want to be fed anymore, it will start to cry. So you gotta take the binkies off of the Generation 6. Now on the WorldCare 2, I haven't tried that. So I don't know if it will cry or what. I haven't tried it out yet. So you can make your own pacifier for your baby. Well, on the IDs, since I don't want to spend a lot of money on getting the new IDs for the upgrade, new babies and everything, I just kept the student ID the same, because the student ID for the Generation 6 will also work on the WorldCare 2 babies. And this is what they look like. They're plastic with a little round magnet on it. And that's what they look like. They'll work on either baby. And that's what they look like. Now on the teacher key, to open up the back of the baby, it looks like this. That's what it looks like to open the door to put the batteries in. Or if you have your own baby, you can make it where if you don't have this, she can make the little door screw that comes with it. You can make it where you can open it up with a butter knife or a flathead if you don't have this key. And the programmer, since I have the same ID and it would take the same programmer for either one, because I don't feel like spending more money than what I have to. So, and the programmer that I have can be used for either baby. And that's what this looks like. So, and it would go through auto program, in simulation, custom program, view data, print data, presentation, practice, get data, delete data, and language. Select language. So it's all there. And that's what the programmer looks like, and that's what it all has on the programmer. So if you want to do a presentation of the baby to see what it all does and everything, or you got a friend say that they want to try the baby but they don't want to take it home, but they just want to try it, where you can put it on the practice mode and it would just do all the simulations and everything. And the practice mode is a little bit shorter than the presentation mode. So that's what all you would need to run the baby. Oh, one more thing. The batteries that you would need, both of the babies would take 4 C batteries. They would take 4 C batteries to run the both babies. As you can tell, 4 C batteries. It doesn't matter what kind of batteries that you get, long as they're not rechargeable or mixed batteries, or they've been used, because they don't prefer you to put in freaking used batteries or mixed batteries or anything like that, or rechargeable, because it will mess up the sensors and stuff like that. So they prefer you to use new batteries and stuff, and not rechargeable batteries. That's what on that. Now I'm going to turn the babies over so you can see what the backs look like on each one. This is kind of hard with one hand. As you can tell on the Real Care 2 baby, that it will have a circle that you insert the key into. Or if you have the newer version of the keys, you can wave it or hold it up against their back in the right corner, or in their bottoms. And it's the same way in their front, up here on the shoulder or down in the stomach area, to chime them on the Real Care 2s. Well, on the Generation 6s, this is what it looks like on the Generation 6, this is where their hole is to insert the student ID. And it would chime. And once you hear the chime on either one, either you gotta figure out if it wants to be fed, changed, rocked, or burped. Now, if it's still on I figured out on the Real Care 2s, you got to chime the baby if it's fussy. Now, if you chime it and you changed it, rocked it, burped it, trying to feed it, and it still cries, more than likely it's fussy. There's nothing you can do when it's fussy. Now, on the Generation 6s, when it cries and you try all them on the changing, burping, feeding, rocket, and it's still fussy, it still cries, then that means it's fussy and you can do nothing about it. On the Generation 6s, they don't chime when it's fussy like it does on the Real Care 2s. Now, on the emergency stop on the Real Care 2s is this little hole right here. On the Generation 6s, the emergency stop is right here. Now, on checking the battery to see if the batteries are low or fixing to die, I don't know on the Real Care 2s because I haven't got the guide on the 2s. I just estimate on the Real Care 2s when I used the programmer, and if I tried to turn on the Real Care 2s and it tells me the batteries are too low, that means I can't turn them on. That means the batteries are low. Or when I turn them off, that means, and it tells me the batteries are low, that means before I try to turn them on again the next time, I would need to replace the batteries. That's how I've been telling on the Real Care 2 babies about the batteries being low. Now, on the Generation 6s, there's a little red light right here on the Generation 6s. When it's low, the light right here will flash red. Now, when the light goes solid, that means the batteries are completely dead and the light will stay on. And that means you gotta call your teacher or whoever and let them know that your baby has dead batteries. And when I had it in school, that when the batteries went dead on me, that the baby vibrated because batteries went dead and the light stayed on. Well, she told me to go ahead and just go on about my day, and she'll be there when she got done eating her dinner, and she'll come out and put new batteries in it and restart it. So, that's that. And on the Generation let me flip her over again. And now, unflip him over. Now on the Generation 6's, the head will literally fall back like that. And only go back. It don't go from side to side or anything like that. It just falls back. So you gotta hold the head just like a real baby. Now on the Real Care 2's, the head will go frontwards a little bit. Then it will go back. And the Real Care 2's are a little bit more up to date, where you can actually turn the baby's head from side to side. The Generation 6's don't go from side to side. Their head just falls back, and the head on both of them will go back, but the Generation 6's, their head falls back more than the Real Care 2's. They only go back a certain amount. So you really got to watch the head, because you'll get deducted points. So be careful on the heads, because they're just like a regular baby. Now, on the, I have a guide here on the Generation 6 baby. I don't have one on the Real Care 2's. Now, on the guide, I don't have the student card thing. I actually have the guide, because when I purchased my doll, it came with this book, and I'm so grateful that it came with it, because at first I didn't know how to program it or anything like that, so I had to read it really carefully and everything, and it would tell you on how to take care for the baby and everything like that. In some schools, like it shows here, that you'll have a diaper bag. I got my own diaper bag, but when I had it in school, they didn't have the Real Care 2's, 2 pluses, and 3's. They only had the Generation 6 at the time when I took it home. So, but they will give you a diaper bag, and some schools will buy the actually diaper bag that comes with the baby, or they will purchase their own diaper bag from Walmart or thrift stores, or they might be donated or anything like that. Then the car seats. Well, I have my own car seats now for my babies personally, because these two are mine. And I also have a third baby, and that's which is in the corner, and he's also a Generation 6 baby. And he's a Mexican Hispanic baby, and these are just Hispanic babies. But when I took it in school, I had the Caucasian baby, and I had the boy. But let's get back to the car seat. When I had the baby in school, there was a car seat given to us. No matter what, we had to take the car seat. We didn't have a choice. And we had to pick out clothes, and we had to have a bottle that was filled with water at all times in the diaper bag. It didn't have the sensors or anything like that, like this one does. So the teacher made everybody take a regular baby bottle that she purchased, I guess from Walmart. I don't know where she got them from, but she made us fill up the bottles with water and put it in the diaper bag. So it felt heavy, just like as if you were actually having a baby. So you would feel like you're actually carrying a diaper bag with a milk bottle. So it would be weighted. The diaper bag would be weighted. And so, but that's that. On the car seats, again, I keep getting distracted. I apologize for that. But on the car seats, she would take a group out at a time. Whoever had them for that weekend, she would take them out to her personal car and show you how to strap in the car seat. And you would take the baby home for either 5 days during the week, but she didn't turn them on during school hours because the other teachers were getting mad for having them turned on, and it would distract the other students from work and everything. And so if you took them home during the week, you had to take them home an extra day. And that's what I did. I took the baby home an extra day because I wanted it during the week. So I had an extra day of the baby. And so, but if you have your own baby, you purchase one of these babies at home off of eBay and everything, and you're still confused about how it works and everything like that, it would, on their schedules, oh, here's the races of the baby. As you can tell, they're all different. There's an African American, then there's American Indian, then there's an African American light skinned one, then there's an Asia one, then there's a Caucasian one, then there's a Japanese one, then there's a Hispanic one. And that's what I have on these two right here. They're both Caucasian ones. So that's what they look like. And I went online because when I got this guide, it didn't come with the diary or anything. I had to go online and look it up to get the diary that you gotta write what time it cried until what time it stopped and what you had to do, feed it, burp it, rock it, or anything like that. I had to find the forms for it, so I got that off of line. Then I also went and checked online for their schedules for the baby. So when I went to program the baby, I know what schedule I wanted to use. And which is, the first one is a hard schedule. And it's an 8-day-old baby. Then schedule 2 is a medium, and it's 17 days old. Then the younger the baby is, the harder the schedule is. The older the baby is, the easier the schedule is. It goes from 6 in the morning to 5 in the morning. So it has a full day schedule. Now, if you're a person that's taking home the baby and you're on your final day, the baby will generally go off at 6 in the morning. Because that's the end of the schedule period. Because it's scheduled from 6 a.m. to 5 a.m. So, once it hits 6, a new day begins. So, it all depends when your school starts and everything like that. So, that's that. And if you have your own baby and stuff, you can program it to whenever and everything. And I figured since I got everything that I need to work the 2 babies with, that to work my 2 babies, instead of going out and buying the new student ID and the new programmer, I would just keep my ID and the programmer the same to save money, and it's easier. Because on the 2 pluses and the 3s, you gotta buy a certain kind of rechargeable batteries for them. And you gotta renew the batteries, they say, every 3 to 5 years. And that will cost money. But on these, I just figured just buy the batteries, and whenever I don't want them on, I can just take the batteries out instead of leaving them in there and charge them, and down the road I gotta go spend bukus of money to get them redone, or wait for them to be charged. And on the 3s, they're you gotta wait to have them recharged, and the only way on the 3s to program is with software and with the next stick, which I don't want all that chaos. It would just be simple just having the 2 that I have. So, that's that. So, that's what's the difference between the Wheelcare 2s and the Generation 6s. And I hope this helps you in the long run if you have them for a school project or you buy one and you don't know what to expect or anything. And if you have any questions, just comment down below and describe. And I hope you like this video. But just remember, on the 2 pluses, you got to time the baby even though it's fussy. And when you chime them and don't want to be fed, change, rock, or burp, and it's still fussy, crying, more than likely it's fussy, and there's nothing you can do about it, even though you chimed them. On the Generation 6, you try to chime them, or IDM, and you do all the changing, the burping, the rocking, and feeding, and it's still crying, that means more than likely it's fussy, and you cannot do nothing about it. Well, on the Generation 6's, their cries are more louder than the Real Care 2's. Their speaker boxes are a little bit different. And the reason why they have them in the Real Care 2's in their front like that, and it doesn't have a cutout hole, they had to do that so there'll be an area where the sound will come out for the speaker box, so you can actually hear the baby cry. And on the Generation 6, they cut a hole out to put the speaker box in. But just remember that you got to hold the head too, because the head support, when you let the baby head fall back, it will literally start screaming. Screaming, where you literally got to rock the baby until it finally stops crying. And it goes through 3 different cries to be happy again, I have to say. So when you hear the baby start to get a little bit more quieter, but it still cries, just remember, you still got to rock the baby until it fully stops crying. Now, if you're rocking the baby, but barely rocking the baby and stuff, more than likely, the cry will go back to the first cry, and you got to start all over. And once the baby stops crying, it would, if you were in, say, a feeding session and the head falls back, it will stop the feeding session and you got to tend to the baby for the head support. And once the baby stops crying, then it would take a minute or 2 and it'll probably will cry again, and you got to chime the baby, and it will probably go back to the same thing that it left off as feeding. It wants to be fed still. But other than that, that's what's the difference between Generation 6's and the Real Care 2's, and what you would need to make the babies work. I hope this helps the teenagers in school and stuff that takes these babies home for those school projects. Just remember on the fussy part that if you chime the baby on the real care twos and you try all the methods and it still cries, that means it's fussy. Now if you had, I know they do away with this Generation 6, they don't make these anymore because the company that has these babies bought out this company. So they don't make these Generation 6s anymore. But you can find them off of eBay. I'm not going to tell you how much they were and how much I paid for them and everything, but it all depends what you find and what you're looking for. If they come with everything or you gotta buy the things separate. So it all depends what kind of race and everything that you're looking for. I have 2 males, and this one, as you can tell, it's a girl because she's got pink on. But I hope this helps, and I didn't mean to make it a long video, but I hope this helps you guys, because I've been watching on YouTube and people that's been making videos for their school projects are getting confused about why the babies are still crying, but they tried everything. So just remember, they can be fussy and they don't need anything. So just keep that in mind, and also the head support and everything like that. So I hope this helps. Bye.